So I was on a Blender forum earlier today on Discord, and someone was asking about tutorials for shape keys, which are basically just blend shapes. And it's actually super simple to do so. So when it comes to blend shapes or shape keys, what you're affecting are the components of a piece of geometry or a mesh. So if you go in edit mode, it's basically going to be the verts, the edges, or the faces that you're going to be moving to create deformations. But before you do that, you want to select your geometry and then essentially under properties, go to data and find shape keys and just expand it out. You'll see it'll be empty. And what you want to do is hit the plus just once, and it'll create sort of a snapshot of the geometry in its default form. And that's where you want to start. And now if you actually want to create a deformation that you can basically scrub on and off, all you have to do is hit plus again, and it creates this key. Now this key basically is your shape key, where you want it to be able to go. Okay, now that we have one key in there, we need to create a shape for that key to basically become. So leaving the value set at 1 on the key, you edit the mesh. So go to edit mode and then make your change. In this case, I'm just going to scale. I'm going to select the vertices in the middle, because it's basically the components that you're actually animating with shape keys, not the object, the components, which is basically the stuff that makes the object. I'm going to just scale these in to make sort of an hourglass shape. And you can do them all together, you can do them one at a time, it doesn't really matter, as long as the final shape is what you want it to be. So I'm going to take all these and scale these in a little bit. Yeah, it's not exactly what I want. I'm going to take these and these. Okay, yeah, that's fine. Okay, then let's bring this middle part in a little more. Yeah, that's better. Okay, so now we've got a new shape. But what if we link it back to the sphere? All we have to do is scrub our key to 0. Done and done. If you want to create another key, let's say you want to combine 2 of these keys. You can't. I'm going to add another key. And on this one, I'm going to scale the top and the bottom. I'm going to scale them out. Okay. And so there's my new shape. So again, I go back to Shapekey and I can scrub it. Hold on. I can scrub it back to 0 to bring back my sphere. I can leave it on and apply the other key that I created. And so these are things you're going to be able to basically animate and keyframe. Now, when you create your shape keys here, you don't have to just control them from here. You can also control them from below here. Right? Basically, you can select the key, set the value, switch to a different key, and that value will highlight for it here. And so you can also keyframe them down here as well. Okay, one more thing to keep in mind. Once you get to the point when you actually have a rig and you have the mesh skin to a rig, you can still use your shape keys, but you can also use your rig to create other shape keys. Once you actually have the mesh skinned to a rig, you can go to your modifiers, go to armature, and if you have something, let's say the hand, for example, you have it posed, you have it selected, it's got the armature deformer on it, you can go to the little arrow on the right side and tell it to apply as a shape key or save as a shape key. And therefore you can basically create shape keys for the geometry based on a deformation set by the rig. So you can even create different facial expressions and store them based on positions that you've set up with the rig. And then you can restore the rig to its default position and use the shape keys if you just want to quickly recover a pose or to tweak an expression that you're already creating using the rig, maybe just to accent it a little bit using a stored shape key.